Ori from Account Manager Tips here, and I wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity to support your account management, development and objectives this year with a training proposal. I wanted to share with you a brief presentation just to outline some of the key elements of the proposal, so here we go. Firstly, just a little bit about me. I have more than 15 years experience leading business development teams in Australia, the UK and Europe. I have been in the field active as an account manager for many of those years as well. I know what it takes to get the attention of as a supplier. I know what it takes to become a trusted advisor, and I know how to balance client-driven objectives along with organisational goals and represent both. I think my focus is on very simple and immensely practical solutions. I like to make sure that they can be implemented immediately, that they're not an administrative burden, that they're not a challenge for account managers to execute, and that they deliver value and an impact right from the get-go. The focus, of course, is growing revenue, reducing churn, and creating value for your clients. Now, here are the 3 Ps of account management learning. That's what I call them. We begin with purpose. It's really important that your team is very clear on the account management mission, their value, their alignment to not only the client objectives, but the organizational objectives. And in particular, we want to make sure that there's a clear differentiation between what an account manager does and what a delivery director does, and also how they exchange and collaborate together. After that, we move into the process. So I think it's important that we explain and that your team are clear on the fundamentals, the foundations of what is an account management offer. How does that align with the client life cycle, and how can they bring together a repeatable and a sustainable framework that aligns to the customer journey? Now, if we understand this clearly, this is going to give you and your team the ability to continue to build on the foundations of account management, to continue to evolve your solution long after the training is gone, because you have a really good understanding of the foundations and the fundamentals. The following P is practice. So we want to make sure that we spend a lot of time on the specific tools that you need to equip the account managers that will allow them to thrive in any situation, whether that is managing risk, whether that is growing revenue, whether that's nurturing client relationships. We'll definitely spend a lot of time on the exact tools that they'll need to use, and I'll give them those tools and plenty of time to practice. And now, of course, bring this all together and you have got a fantastic team that is ready for success and is going to really drive business results and create customer value. Now, I'm just going to quickly run through the account management framework. We can discuss this in more detail, but this is the structure that supports the client lifecycle, grows revenue, anticipates risk, and of course, reduces churn. We begin with the retention funnel. So really like to make sure the account management team is forward focused, usually a good 12 to 15 months in advance. Who is coming up for renewal? Which contracts are they managing? And which ones do they need to start to think about what comes next? After that, we move into a gap analysis. This is really understanding the past successes and the quality and strength of your relationship, what you've achieved to date, what your client is looking to do, where the gaps are, the strength of relationships, all these sorts of things. We bring that all together into sort of an assessment. From there, we deep dive into revenue opportunities. So we do a bit of white space analysis to understand where your clients have bought today, where there are opportunities tomorrow, and how we bring those together into a sales plan. The capture plan is really about linking the retention and the sales opportunities and building the strategy to win. Who's on your team? What do you need to do to convert that client, to renew that client, to secure that win? What are the exact steps you're going to implement and execute to make that happen? Now, relationship mapping is really, really important because we need to identify the decision-making process. We need to understand who the influencers are, who the decision makers are, and the key stakeholders. So relationship mapping is a process that will really help with that. Executive sponsorship is an area that's important when you're talking about building multi-level relationships and introducing senior stakeholders within your organization to those within your client's organization. Account plans are, of course, the blueprint. They are the client-focused plans, which are about delivering on what your client wants to achieve and identifying the key steps to execute, launch, monitor, and review those plans. Getting things done is really about the process of the day-to-day. These are not the strategic initiatives, these are the tactical ones, the things that you need to accomplish on a day, week, month, quarter, year basis, and the process that you can implement to make sure that you're effective and efficient in getting those done. Business reviews is about looking back and about evaluating performance to date, identifying gaps, revealing new opportunities and bringing those together into a very focused, client-facing review, and how to optimize and maximize that review so you get decisions and you advance your relationship and you advance your goals and objectives. And then risk management, things fall off the wagon, the wheels fall off from time to time, and you need to be very clear on what your process is and how you respond to those situations when things go wrong. And risk management is all about that. All right, so that's a framework. So during the training, we're going to spend a bit of time on that framework just so that you are all really clear on what those each mean and how they are relevant to your business. And we'll adapt and refine them as we go through to make sure that we have a model that's right for you. Now, day 2 will be about specific, essential, practical training on 6 of what I think are the core tools. Client research essentials. So we'll look at how you research and be informed about your clients and how you can set this up on autopilot so that your team are continuing to be aware of what's going on in your client's industry and what is happening within their business and their competitors and anything else that might be relevant to a full sort of 360-degree view of your client. We'll spend some time on the client analysis fundamentals, so we will do some deep dives into the gap analysis and have them look at specifically one of their clients today and how to use a gap analysis template to actually uncover and reveal opportunities as well as risks. Effective client meetings is where we'll spend some time on meeting planning and about how to create and craft agendas and how to use meeting planning tools to make sure that you're very clear on the objectives and the outcomes that you're looking to achieve from that meeting. We'll look at account planning. So we'll start with the one-page account plan template and we'll work through a specific example with each of the account manager's clients so that they leave with an active account plan and have really clear understanding of the process involved in planning out your activities with your accounts and defining objectives. Relationship mapping is again the process of identifying key stakeholders, their relationship to the decision-making process, and identifying who they are and how you're also going to go about engaging with them through a call plan. All right, there you have it, a very brief presentation, but I did want to cover off these things just to explain a little bit more detail. I'm certainly available to have a more in-depth conversation about my proposal or anything that is in it. I look forward to talking to you again soon, and thank you once more.